Hello, 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 and welcome to Rise and Shine with Alissa. I am your hostess, the consultress, bringing you awesome freaking conversations with amazing entrepreneurs, investors, and parents. Because in today's age of disruption, we all need new perspectives and priority to be able to make the best decisions, to pivot ourselves forward, to have new perspective, to make new decisions. Because let's just face it, we're not going back to any kind of normal. Normal is what we're making it, and we get to review and renew all of the decisions to make our futures the best we can make it. That's what my life is dedicated to. That's what this podcast is all about. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Amy Fosbenner. Welcome to Rise and Shine.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, lady. So one of my favorite networking contacts, she's a bookkeeper, was like, I think you need to meet Amy and go ahead and have a conversation. I don't know, but we'll, just see. And we were like, oh my God, we are totally aligned from our first conversation about how we show up in the world, what's important to us, and how we like make stuff happen. So give us a little bit about, who is Amy and how does your passion show up in your work? And then how does that translate to your life? I know, loaded question.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me. I'm very glad that we were introduced to one another as well. So who am I? My name is Amy. I work in the financial services industry. I'm a financial advisor. And my practice is a specialty niche focusing on basically combining real estate with financial advisory, with tax savings, tax deferral strategies. So I'm working with people that own real estate and are amassing their little empires or their little nest eggs, and they're looking to find ways to make it go as far as they possibly can so that they can enjoy the lifestyle or the lives that they're building and kind of reap the rewards and benefits of having success. So whether that be having more time to spend with their families or just more time in general to do literally anything, travel and just enjoy life. We know so many people that work their whole lives and then they don't have time to do the things that they necessarily want to do. So part of my goal is to help people find a good, happy balance that allows them to also preserve their wealth, grow their wealth, and maybe even leave some for their kids. So.
Yeah, leave some for their kids. Like this is a whole like universe of conversation here. And like what struck me is that, you're personally designing your life to match into those values as well. Let I know you're a mom, and you kind of are spinning all the plates as a woman in financial services, and also like the authenticity that gets to come through because that discipline gets to come home with you and you get to pay that forward, inside of your family too. So, what, how do I phrase this question? I think it's like, how does the focus that you have professionally, how does that translate into who you get to be when you put on the mom hat and the wife hat and all the other things?
Yeah, for sure. So I have two very small children. And a lot of people say they do what they do and they work so that they can have a good life and provide for their family. And that's definitely something that I take home too, but I also take my home values into my work. So the people that I'm working with most often are, your mom and pops or, your people that have worked very hard, obviously, but they also have families that they're working for, essentially. They're their employers. They are looking to have a good life, but also have a good lifestyle. So for me personally, with my two little kids, I kind of made a vow to myself that my priorities would be to be there for every physical step, mental step, whatever it is for my family and my kids. I didn't want to miss a thing. So something that was super important for me, that drove me to start my own company and kind of go and make that deep dive off on my own was that healthy work-life balance. There was a point in time where I knew it wasn't healthy, and I said, how can I make this make more sense for me and for my goals so that I can kind of check off all those things that I've kind of set aside from a very young age that I wanted to do this by this age. I have a whole bunch of those. So I'm just trying to check those off, but I never wanted to miss anything with my children, and I wanted to make sure that I spent the time with my husband and my family doing things that I want to do, whether that's traveling, whether that's doing some of my hobbies. I'm a big avid fisher woman and boating is a big thing for me. And I grew up doing those things. So I wanted to make sure that however I kind of built my life and structured my work, I was able to still have that healthy balance because your healthfulness of your mind is just as important to me as your physical health too. So when it comes to working with my clients too, I develop a very deep relationship with a lot of my clients, and kids come up in conversation, or goals and aspirations, and something that very often comes up is, I don't think I spent enough time with my kids, or I want to spend more time with my family, or maybe they don't have kids or they don't like their kids. I don't know. Maybe they want to travel. They want to go see things that they never got a chance to see. But they also don't want to frivolously, spend monies that they don't have to. So I kind of am able to take their goals and aspirations and relate to them on a truly deeper level. And that emotional intelligence that we see lacking all over the place is something that I really try to really, get a good understanding of my clients and really get a good relationship with them so that I can bring them what they need, not just from the actual work side, but sometimes they need a little bit more to develop that relationship and so that I can truly help them. So it's multi-level, multifaceted, but that's kind of the backstory there.
Yeah, well, so the thing that I love is that not only are you who you are, but in your pursuit of service, your branding is not your branding per se, but like your mission as a person, as a human on this planet pays forward into the clients that you serve. So many entrepreneurs that I see, they set this logistical goal about, the revenue they want to make, the systems they're going to use, and they forget that those systems and those goals have to be in the service of why they're doing it in the beginning. And so often I see people that I take through my simple framework not realizing that they're foregoing the exponential value of aligning those two things of who they are and their business value so that they can truly be the best version of them. And guess what's so attractive? When you work with people who are at their best and people just are like, oh God, yeah, give me what you've got because I see you live in the best life, and that energy you put off when that alignment is in place, it's totally magnetic. Not only is it magnetic, but it also gets stuff done because you're very focused and specific on now. Like, listen, I had a real estate developer who was putting together a green building, and he had this block about signing tenants before the building was built, and he was because they were predetermining leases, or however you call that. Words are failing me today, but anyway, I feel lucky. So I asked him a few questions around like, well, what is the building for? What is the purpose of the building? And in that conversation of talking about his strategic, implementable, and measurable stuff, somewhere in there, I got very clear guidance on why this project was important to him, why he was building and raising funds for this type of deal. And then I asked, well, so now let's talk about the people that it serves. Let's talk about who's going to be in this building. And he's like, well, I don't care, just anybody who can afford the rent. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I just don't. So would you want somebody who's like in the financial services selling penny stocks and like screwing over old ladies? No, you don't. Like you don't want that person in your sustainable green amazing building. So like you actually do have a preference, and bringing people into that conversation when they get out of their head but like totally into like their purpose in their project or in their business, that's what moves the needle. And that's what I find when I'm listening to you speak is like your way of living and way of being is aligned with the type of people that you serve because you get them. You understand what's important to them.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it too. It's a different perspective, but I try to just bring a lot of what I've learned also from the other people that I've worked with or alongside, and other clients and experiences to kind of get me to really understand the new circumstances and try to relate in many ways so that I can like feel what they're feeling, or understand what they're going through from their situation and whatnot, so that I can actually help them, right? I'm trying to provide a value to them that they can't get anywhere else. So
Yeah, and like that value they can't get anywhere else is you, your experience, your like je ne sais quoi, right? Like the energy you bring to the table, the passion about what it is you do for people. And that's honestly why you were invited here to this stage because I see that in you, and I want to make sure that the world knows like financial services in general has this stigma of being like pale and stale and like trite and hi, I'll help you determine your financial future. And it's just like, bleh. Like that's not going to sell anything in the future here because we're heading into a future where people do business with people they resonate with and
Yeah.
people that they feel and that they know their stuff. So not only personality and acumen, but like when those two things are lined up together, that this is a buzzword, but that authenticity, it's what really makes the difference. So, understanding your personal situation, what brought you into financial services? What kind of grew you to be the Amy who I see here today?
Yeah, so from a kind of a very young age, I had a couple, like I was saying before, a couple things that I wanted to do in my life or check off. And one of those things was I wanted to like know and learn about and own real estate. It was just very something that was very exciting to me. I don't think I really knew what I was saying, but I wanted to own buildings, right? And kind of in different places. And also I wanted to, and I've always said this from the get-go, whatever kind of career path I took, I wanted to help people. And not just help people from the standpoint of provide something for them, but provide something deeper. I had gone in a different path in college thinking I wanted to do something else. I wanted to, as a side note tangent, I wanted to actually go into neurosurgery. I loved medicine. I loved science. I still do. I'm like a super nerdy nerd. So I loved all that stuff, but I got to a point kind of right in the nick of time where I said, the lifestyle, the work-life balance, that kind of whole theme. I don't know if I would have gotten that because my life would have been dedicated to kind of like a hospital room. So I said to myself, what else can I do? What else am I passionate about? What else can I do to help people? So then I like pulled that 5-year-old me that was like, I want to own real estate and like all that stuff. And I said to myself, so many people I know are so successful. There's so many people around me, and how do they do it? They were driven, they were motivated, they were passionate. And then I said, but so many people don't know what to do with their money. I said, there's like so many people I was surrounded by just really, they saved, but they didn't know how to make it fruitful for them. And some of them just happened to, own some real estate. And I said to myself, oh, they've done pretty good. And then I kind of fell into a few different paths that led me into the kind of specific niche market that I'm in. And it really gave me the opportunity to say, hey, I can combine all of these things together, but in a way that is impactful, that is much more deep than just, hey, I work in the financial services industry and I do this. Like you said, it was like kind of boring. Um, but by providing something that's very specialized and just kind of totally different with the kind of the spirit that I bring to it, I'm hoping that the people that I work with are impacted by it furthermore. So something that I actually just wanted to mention too, when I started my own company, I put a lot of thought into my logo. My logo is a phoenix, but it's two different color phoenix. The interior is your traditional colors, the red, the orange, the yellow, the fire. And then the exterior is representative of the blue phoenix. It's a different, slightly different meaning. And anyone that knows about the phoenix and all that stuff understands kind of the main gist of it. But there's kind of 5 pillars that I brought into my company when I kind of said, I'm gonna do this. Here's my logo, and this is what it means to me. And those 5 things are passion, resilience, determination, strength, and compassion. So those 5 things I realized are so representative of kind of who I am. Anyone that knows me knows I'm super, probably overly passionate about the things that I love. One of them being my job. People are like, you love this. I'm like, I do. I really love it. Like, I'm such a nerd. But also like when I can help someone and help them get to where they want to get to, or maybe they didn't even know they wanted to get to that point. It's so satisfying for me because I'm so passionate about it. And then obviously like resilience and determination, you start from somewhere, you get to somewhere, but there's a transition period. There's a lot of ups and downs, and nothing is going to get in my way and stop me. And, strength, compassion. I put a lot of, like I was saying earlier, that emotional intelligence. I understand people and I give them an opportunity to not just tell me, here are the facts, because the facts are just what's on paper, but there's so much more that lies behind those facts. And everyone, believe it or not, is unique, and everyone's different, and everyone's special. But when it comes to stuff in their work life or their professional life, they don't like to show all that other stuff. But if I can get that kind of them comfortable to like release that, we connect so much deeper and I can help them so much more because then they tell me things that they might not have thought to tell me. Oh, I have this or I do this. And oh, okay, have you thought about this? And then I've so many circumstances been able to really help people outside of what I normally do, connecting them with people like, it's all about connections and how can I help you and how can I introduce you to more people that will make your life better and more enriched. And that's kind of like my thing is like, I'm going to help you in 20 ways. You only asked for one, but you're going to get 20. So like it or not. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I love what you're saying. And this is why our work is super aligned, because when you have everything where people are comfortable speaking, it's very easy, like you said, the stuff that's on paper, it's very easy to say, I have this, I do this, I want that. It is a whole other story because this is where the rapport comes in and the right fit between, who you are as a human being to get to the deeper layers and the deeper levels. I think I shared with you, like I have an acronym that I kind of always draw as this arc, right? And over on the left-hand side is S and I and M in simple strategy, implementation, and metrics. Most of us are so comfortable talking about this is what I do, this is how I do it, and this is how I measure the results. That's only half of the equation because once you're comfortable getting into conversation and into relation with these things, then we can tip over to like the meaty stuff around who do you need to support yourself around, who do you need to surround yourself with to support those aims, the partnerships, who do you need to become, the leadership, and that is what all together drives exponential growth, which is what all of us entrepreneurs are out there looking for, to align both sides and to bring everything to the table. That's true transformation that you get to provide for people, whatever discipline that you're in. Mine happens to be in helping entrepreneurs evolve their business so it lines up with who they really are and who they want to become and allows the business, the tactics to actually catch up. But without those two very distinct pieces of a human that are integrated, whether or not we like to talk about it or not, that type of resonance is what moves the needle.
For sure.
So yeah, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is why she's here. Honestly, like this is 100% the reason why I'm like, oh my God, we've got this. So how can people find more about your firm, about what you're up to in the world and contact you?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually currently revamping my whole website. It's going to be a lot more user friendly, a lot more resources, and a little bit more color, not just colorful, but color about me. So that's currently in the works. I'm hoping sometime in the next month or so it's going to be, or whatever, published or whatever. So that's in the works. But I am all over the place doing presentations and doing seminars, for people in my industry, both in and out, actually. I do a lot of charitable stuff. That's a huge passion of mine, just as a tangent. Basically, my husband jokes, he says that my hobby is charity. It's one of them, but I love just so many different causes. I overextend myself to do a lot of that stuff, not for any other reason other than it makes me feel good. I feel your greatest, most valuable asset is your time. It's quite literally the only thing you can never get back, I think. So, you can have as much money in the world, but if you don't have any more time, so time is a finite object, I guess. So for me, if I can spend time doing those things, then it's super fruitful for me and it's very satisfying. And also I can help others too, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. But so from that perspective, I'm out and about. I do a lot of webinars and all that stuff and lots of educational things. So between website and between those things, or even just shooting me an email, everyone has my cell phone number. I'm super easy to reach, and I love talking to as many people as I can. My goal, kind of every time I talk to anyone, is to suck all the information out of their head and learn not only about them, but kind of whatever I can learn. Everyone has all these words of wisdom and their experience and what they've lived in their lives, and I obviously can't experience all of that, but if I can get that from them and kind of pick up on that, then I can learn about them and I'm the wiser for it. So I kind of suck all that information out of everybody's heads as much as I possibly can and just learn as much as I can. I love learning to the nth degree. And when I said before I'm a nerdy nerd, I really am. I'm
Yeah,
a super nerd. But from that perspective too, it's like, the more I learn, the more I can bring that to the well-rounded conversations that I can have with clients and further enrich what the service is and everything that I can bring to them. The more you know, right?
totally. Totally. So, do you hang out on any kind of social media where people could look you up and connect with you?
Yeah, so I mean, I have a LinkedIn profile both for myself and my business. That's kind of where I post about some events that I'm attending or some, things that are going on. That's how I stay connected to my business people and all that stuff. Post occasionally about some charitable things that I'm involved with in hopes that other people in my network kind of see those things and maybe get involved themselves.
Yeah.
But the other social media stuff I kind of just have, but it's like more for like personal family stuff and whatnot. And I'm not a big social media, in business thing.
That well, so that you nailed it. Hey, look Amy up on LinkedIn. Send her a LinkedIn request and follow what she's up to because this woman she's got a lot of heart and a lot of brains. And those two things in combination, you totally want to surround yourself with people like Amy. So I want to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here for Rise and Shine to share a little bit of you and a little bit of kind of the relationship and how you and I vibe together with the rest of the audience here. Any words of wisdom or quotes that have been really powerful for you to like keep in mind as you grow forward, as you continue to develop who you're becoming in your business world or in your personal life, that you could share as for me, the quote that I come back to is, I have it written right here on my whiteboard, which is also a mirror, so it's a little hard to read, but it's "Do Something You Fear Every Day" by Eleanor Roosevelt. And for me, that is really about stepping into the edge of your comfort zone and always taking the signal of fear rather than as shrinking advice, but more as like, oh, I know I'm on the growth path. Like that reminds me, that's something I keep in the front focus of my mind every day. So is there anything like that or any thing that you keep kind of front of mind as you continue to grow and evolve?
So I think so. I don't have any necessary quotes that I can think of off the top of my head on the spot.
Right, right.
But something that I kind of bring with me everywhere I go, and I always notice it, especially when I'm driving. Probably because I'm a New Yorker and people drive crazy on the road. So I always say, anytime I'm doing anything, I want to do 5 nice things for people today. Whether it's letting someone merge into the lane that clearly doesn't know how to drive, or just holding open a door for someone. It makes someone's day brighter. It makes them think of things maybe a little bit different. Maybe they'll pay it forward. So I try to do at least 5 substantially nice things for people. And then even when I'm on calls with clients or working with prospects and whatnot, I try to bring 5 things to that conversation above and beyond just lecturing them on what it is that I do and how I can help them from what they're, learning about. Whether it's like, indirect or just something that I could add value to them. So it's at least 5 things. So if everyone else did that, what we probably would have a much better world. So.
Right on. I love that. And pay it forward when you're like, what 5 things can I do today? Or I need to notice where I'm doing 5 things that are kind to other people. Like you stand for the value that your company is built on. And to me, you're my people that I love to have, that I want everybody to know about. So stay tuned because Amy and I are up to some really cool things in this world. And I'm just so grateful you chose to spend some time here with us for Rise and Shine. And so cheers to you, cheers to us. And till next time, friends, we broadcast every single Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Click like, subscribe, and don't miss another episode. Make sure you click that notification bell so that you get the episode hot off the press as soon as it premieres. And for those of you who know that we are broadcasting live today on St. Patrick's Day, Ringo Bra, may the good luck be with you. And till next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Amy, thanks a million for being here.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Bye.